Yo ho ho! What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and it is still our BrickWall Holidays month. And y'all already know Christmas is like next week, so y'all know what happens when I get a little bit of a rush. I haven't been dropping as much as I want to. That's right, it's a rush week. And if you guys look on the channel, you'll see I have a whole bunch of videos listed for a lot of reviews coming up. We got a SpongeBob. We got a beep. If you want to know what those are, just go look on the channel. I'm not saying all that. But right now, I'm going to be talking about the 2007 film that I consider waiting 2 years to talk about, mind you, because y'all know I love anniversaries. We're going to be talking about Fred Claus. Before I get into it, remind you guys, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. Y'all already subscribe. Hold on. I almost missed one thing. Hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. Already subscribe. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Rock with us. So, now that all is out the way, y'all like the towel around my head? I do. Okay, anyway. So, Fred Claus. This is the 2007 film. It stars Vince Vaughn, Paul Giamatti, and I think that was Rose Byrne. Hold on, let me look. I think that was Rose Byrne. Was that Rose Byrne? Oh, of course, now it's going to take a sweet ass time telling me. Rachel Weisz. I was close. I always get those two mixed up for some reason. But Rachel Weisz, Elizabeth Banks, Kevin Spacey, John Michael Higgins, and Kathy Bates, and one of the big, well, let me say one of the big draws to this movie, Luda. That's right, Luda was in this. Ludacris was in this. Oh, it's hot in here. This goddamn window. All right. So this movie, it follows one of the Claus brothers named Fred, who was a troublemaker and the polar opposite of his saintly sibling Nicholas, Saint Nick, Santa Claus. You know, you already know the vibes. So when Fred's criminal ways finally land him in big trouble, Nick bails him out, brings him to the North Pole, and it just happens to be at the time that Kevin Spacey's character shows up, and he's like a big old auditor, and he has these malicious schemes in place, which I'll get into later, to get the North Pole shut down. So the question of this movie is, can Fred put aside his brotherly beef with Santa Claus and help save the North Pole? That's the question being asked. Oh, absolutely. Find me on Twitter. Find me on Twitter. Look at the names down below. Gang Freakness. Absolutely. Find me on Twitter. Send me a DM. I got you. Y'all know I adjust the comments. Where was I? Lost my train of thought. Okay, so this movie opens up on one of the funniest notes, I personally think. Because at first I remember I saw this movie. Let me back up. So I remember I saw this movie in theaters. I did see this movie in the movie theaters, me and my mom. I was really excited to see this. This has, hold on, because with the little boy's name, because he was so popular back then. Bobby J. Thompson. Yeah, it had Bobby J. Thompson in this too. So Bobby J. Thompson and Ludacris were the two reasons I wanted to see this movie. And the premise did look pretty interesting. I do know I was very interested to see how this premise would play out. So I remember my thoughts on this initially. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I thought the messaging was good. Watching it now, I can say that does kind of hold up. I do still think that is very good message behind it. So back to how this movie kind of started, though. So in the beginning of the film, you see kind of like the backstory of Fred and Santa, or Nicholas, as he's named by his parents. And pretty much it was a thing of, you know, when Nicholas was born, at first, Fred was like, oh, I'm going to protect you. I'll never let anything bad happen to you. I love you always. You know, that type of thing, right? And, you know, as they got older, pretty much Nick was like the unintentional overachiever. Like everything he did, his parent, well, specifically his mother, played by Kathy Bates, was like, oh, you're amazing, Fred. You should be more like your brother because your brother's the fucking best. And it's just like, Fred's like, well, shit, I'm here too. I do cool things. And the straw that broke the camel's back for Fred was when he gave Nick his this like really nice custom book for Christmas. He had like his name engraved. He put like Nicholas's name engraved on the book and everything. It was really nice. And so he gave it to Nick, and all of a sudden Nick's putting everything in his box. And it was like, well, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to go get these, all of these things I got to the less fortunate. They needed more than I do. And understandably so. Fred was like, yo, who the fuck is going to take a book with the name Nicholas on it? Pretty much he's saying, like, and again, they're still kids, so they don't know how to, like, really try to, like, articulate these things the right way, but they're kids, and he's just like, yo, I just, like, engraved this book with your name on it, bro. Why are you giving this away? Like, what kind of bullshit is that? So, of course, Fred gets, like, deep in his feelings, like, deep in his feelings about that. Again, rightfully so. And everyone's still over there praising Nicholas, saying he's the best, blah, 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 blah. Dub him a saint, which in this universe gives them immortality. Don't ask. The movie doesn't explain it too much. I won't either. And yeah, so and Fred just is like, yo, I'm not talking to none of y'all anymore. Fast forward, Fred's like this. I'm not gonna say he's a con man. I'm not gonna say he's down on his luck. I've been really trying to find the best way to describe what Fred is. And I would just say Fred's just a troublemaker, a guy just trying to get by. I mean, he has a girlfriend whose birthday he forgot, so he tries to set up something for her. And he has this building that he wants to buy, that he wants to turn into, I believe, a casino of some sorts. That's like right across from like an investment firm or something like that. Pretty much like across the street from like Wall Street places and stuff like that. And he has to pay this money by December 22nd. Now, one thing that about Fred that I did like, and it's kind of true to how Vince Vaughn plays a lot of his characters, is like Fred's like a fast talking, he'll do his best to fast talk you into and out of something. Like the scene when he's calling Santa and he's like, yo, because he gets locked up. And he's like, yo, I need the bail. And he's like, yo, let me get $5,000. And Sam's like, all right, cool, I'll give it to you. He's like, that's cool, that's great, you're doing that. But on the, while you're at it, just throwing 50,000 in. If you throw in 50,000, I'll give you back 10. But I'll give you back 10, you give me the 5. But now I give you the 5 and you give me the 50,000 and it's 60,000. But if you drive that down, I'll give you 5. And he's saying it like that fast, where it's like, like you hear it. And it's like, it doesn't make sense. But he's one of those people that keeps talking so fast and keeps throwing out bullet points to where eventually you find yourself in like a position to where you either inadvertently say yes, or you're kind of like dragged into a position to where you find it confusing to say no. Like you kind of got to watch yourself and watch what you say, because these people can easily kind of get you into a deal, out of a deal, into a situation, out of a situation, into a worse situation. So that's kind of what it is on that end. And Mrs. Claus is like, yo, don't give him nothing. Practice tough love. You got to ignore him. So what Santa does as a middle ground, he says, yo, I'll give you the 5 and bail you out. But if you want the rest of the money, you got to come up here. You got to work for it. You got to come up to the North Pole, help me out with Christmas, blah, 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 blah. Mind you, the whole time Fred was in jail, he missed his date with his girl. And I mentioned Bobby J. Thompson. So Bobby, his character is like just like this kid who like comes and hangs out with Fred. I guess he doesn't really have anywhere else to go. You find out his dad died. And if you haven't figured out by now, I'm doing whole spoilers. This movie came out like 18 years ago. Okay. Y'all had time. And if you want to watch it, it's on Hulu now, available to watch in English and Espanol. And I only know it's in Spanish because I went to go watch it. And I caught this Spanish dub. And I was like, why the hell is this movie in Spanish? Then I realized that it said, like, on the bottom of the thing, it said in Espanol. So I had it wrong. So I had to, like, go and find the English version of the movie. It wasn't hard, but it was just funny that it happened. So then Fred goes up there to work for Santa. And, he's mischievous, but he's not, like, you could tell Fred had, and this is why I kind of like Vince Vaughn as an actor. I know my sister liked Vince Vaughn too, but I can see why, because he's a charming lead man who he's like in the class of people that can play the fast talking character that has a lot of heart. Like you can gravitate to him, but you also sit there and say, "Now that wasn't right. That wasn't right. What you did, you need to stop." But I do like Fred's character. I do like Vince Vaughn's portrayal of his character, of the character of Fred. And Paul Giamatti as Santa Claus is really fun, really entertaining. Then you get to Kevin Spacey, and I listen before y'all start to jump on my case. Before y'all hold on, because I discovered a whole bunch of stuff on this channel, so I'm about to do something. Now hold on. Now before y'all get in here and y'all decide that y'all wanna boo me. Silence. Okay, I booed you. I booed me for you. Okay, so now I can shut up. Kevin Spacey was actually pretty damn enjoyable in this film. I know he was enjoyable in this film. I know y'all don't want to hear that. I know he had the booze didn't play. I guess you don't get your satisfaction of the booze again. You only heard it one time. But nah, Kevin Spacey was very enjoyable in this film. And I'm not gonna knock his talent. I understand you have a controversy and blah 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 blah. We're not here to talk about that. In this specific movie, he was a great villain. And his reasoning for wanting to do that, now that I won't spoil because it's actually kind of funny to me, but the reason he's so at odds against Santa is something that you'll realize pretty quickly that that's the reason why. And it's kind of something that that you see in a couple of Christmas specials and a couple of Christmas movies. It's kind of a cliche, but it's still enjoyable. It's still fun the way it's played. You can see how it's kind of interesting watching how he manipulates things and pull strings and stuff like that to kind of get the 3-strike system out the way so that he can, get Santa in the North Pole, jammed up and all that good stuff. So, yeah, the movie just pretty much at a certain point just turns into Fred has to save Christmas. And that's pretty much what the movie turns into throughout the journey of the characters. Now, I did mention that Elizabeth Banks is in this movie. She plays like one of the head elves, and the other elf that is involved in this movie, played by John Michael Higgins, he has a crush on Elizabeth Banks' character, whose name is Charlene. So Charlene and Willie. So Willie has a crush on Charlene, and she kind of knows it, but not really. And he's always embarrassed, trying to find ways to, really secure the bag with that one. I'm saying this is Elizabeth Banks. I gotta secure the bag too. But I mentioned Ludacris was in this. He's just like a little DJ elf. He doesn't really do anything important. He has a song, an original song at the end of the movie that plays during the credits. I thought was pretty cool. I just remember when this movie was coming out, they did a lot of marketing around Ludacris when he was just that little elf with his voice pitched up a little bit. And speaking of which, so a lot of the elves, they are people whose heads are superimposed onto a smaller person or photoshopped onto another person. Which after watching Snow White this past year and seeing the controversy behind not hiring little people for acting roles, and cutting the jobs from them, I don't necessarily think that this movie does that. And that's something I did think about while watching this movie, because I did want to kind of touch on that. I think them just hiring the body portion of it for the faraway shots and superimposing the head on it because it was actually a pretty interesting decision because, again, you still have to have recognizable faces in this movie. And it's not like they don't utilize the little people community. I do not know the proper terminology I'm supposed to use, okay? So if I'm using the wrong terminology, please forgive me. I don't know. I know you can't say the M word. I know you can't say you're not really supposed to say short people. I just say little people. I hear them say it themselves. So the little people community. If I'm wrong, let me know. I apologize, but I don't want to say the M word. I do know that has tended or that has become offensive. So my bad if I'm being offensive. Yeah, so I did think that was because it's not like they don't utilize little people. They do have a squad of elves. They're I keep wanting to say SEAL Team 6, but not really. They're like the secret security. They're like the security. There we go. The security that always kicks ass, and they use actual little people in there, and they do the stunts and stuff like that. So that I think that's cool, and I think that again, you still do pay the little people who were there before the other actors' faces got photoshopped onto the bodies, they're still there, they're still working, they're still getting paid, they still have to match mannerisms and do the acting without having their face be seen. And there are parts of the movie where the actor whose head is on an elf's body, there are certain shots where it's just that actor. I think they just use that for the shots to show that they're still elves. But again, like I said, you have to have recognizable faces and names and people that, can draw a crowd. It's not a knock to certain people. It's just like having extras, like you have your extras and you might have a famous person in one of the extras that gets a couple of more lines than another person. Is to draw recognizability. Ooh, I bodied that word. I did it body me. But yeah, the performances in the movie were really good. Like I said, the message about brotherly love and stuff like that was really nice. It was really sweet. Not even just brotherly love, like sibling love in general. Because oftentimes, when you're the older sibling, you have a younger one. I don't know too much about this. I was born an only child, and most of my life I was an only child. But I even thought about my own kids, right? Like how sibling rivalry can happen over the littlest thing, but you still love them and you still have to honor protecting them and honor doing the right thing by them. So it was a very loving message and very, very timely message for the Christmas season, the holiday season. Yeah, so I mean, overall, like this movie, it was a very sweet movie. I wish they still made movies like this. They make them few and far in between. This was rated PG, so it was a family Christmas movie. You don't, like I said, you don't really get those anymore. I remember we used to get movies like this like almost every year. We used to get like one or two family live action holiday movies. And this one, like I said, this one's a very fun watch. I did have a good time watching. I had a good time diving into this world. And if it wasn't 2 years away from its 20th anniversary, honestly, I would have just waited to the 20th anniversary to give this movie even more praise. But I think the amount of praise I'm giving it now is actually very much worthy of it. Like I said, Fred Claus is available to watch on Hulu right now. My rating for this movie, I'm gonna give it. I give it about 3.8 out of 5 stars. Like I said, it's good. It is good. It's fun. There's a lot of cliches here. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing that was like, oh, this is the greatest movie of the time. Like, it's not, but it is still a very enjoyable watch and has a very positive message behind it. And I enjoyed it. I had fun watching it. So, yeah, check it out. Fred Claus, like I said, I give it 3 out of 5 stars. What did the critics give this, though? Because that's one thing I haven't been doing lately is talking about what critics have thought about these films. Whoa. 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb. So obviously critics do not favor this one, but I think I'm being a little nicer to it than them. 3 out of 5 stars. I mean, I think that's decent, right? Like, have I become soft on films? I've been questioning myself about that lately in this holiday season. Don't mind me. But that's it. That's all I have to say, you guys. That's all I have for you guys, rather. Check out Fred Claus. Let me know. Do you enjoy the movie? Do you have memories of the movie? Was it a good movie? Do you have to ask yourself, what the fuck is Fred Claus? Like, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the review, stay tuned to the channel. Like I said, this week's a big week. I got a lot going on, and I got a lot of upcoming reviews I'm really excited about, so stay tuned to the channel. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. If y'all have any suggestions y'all ever want to give me, hit me up on one of those platforms. Leave a comment down here on the videos. I'll always see them. I'll always respond. I love when you guys holler at me. But that's it. I gotta go. Until next time, y'all, be easy, stay breezy, stay holly and jolly. Peace.